like a dreamer. Fly all over the world. Open your shell so the world can see. You're a beautiful pearl. Live your day like you mean it. And don't forget who you are. You're free to go anywhere. There's no distance too far. And I just can't get enough of your energy. I just can't get enough. You're the spark shining in the dark. Oh, 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 oh. Love.
Welcome to It Is What It Is with Cindy Seville. So happy you're here. It Is What It Is a show all about real people, real life stories. People overcoming all kinds of adversities in life and doing something special and magical and helping others. So with that said, I will introduce our guest in a few minutes, but comment, like, and share. Remember, comment, like, and share, and you might win this book. And this is the book that I'm known for. I took my issues and my difficulties in life, put it in a book, and hopefully it's helping lots of people. It's what I hear. So comment, like, and share the show, and you can win this book. It is what it is. And written by me. When we come back, we're going to meet this fabulous man. His name is Jake Rinaldo. And Jake Rinaldo he's a talented musician. He has a music publishing company. He has a disability, but you would never believe he has a disability because he doesn't act like he has a disability. He kind of didn't even know he had a disability when he was young. And he's incredible. He founded something called Empowering Artists with Disabilities, EAD. And it's a 5013, if I'm saying it right, organization that helps other artists who have disabilities, but who have that passion that he has, that same drive that he has. So when we come back, we will meet Jake and learn all about Jake and his story and learn why he founded this organization and what he does with this organization. So don't go far. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Silvermine at Home, a Connecticut-based non-medical home care agency servicing Connecticut and parts of New York. Silvermine caters to their clients' needs while offering peace of mind to their families so their loved one can age in place and live their best life possible. Call today to see how they can make a difference in you or your loved one's life. Our family caring for yours. Visit silvermineathome.com or call 203-228-5007.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is with Cindy Seville. So happy you're here. I have a fabulous guest that I'd like to introduce. His name is Jake Rinaldo, and Jake Rinaldo founded something called EAD, and that's short for Empowering Artists with Disabilities. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce him. Welcome, Jake, to the show. How are you?
Thank you. I'm very good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm thrilled you're here. I'm thrilled you're here. You do a lot of great things. I've done a lot of research on you, and I'm very impressed.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I mean, we're just starting now, so it's we're in our second year as a nonprofit 501c3 organization, and we've been helping a lot of different individuals, and people have been loving what we're doing.
Wow.
It's a great, it's a great feeling to be able to give back, basically.
Yeah,
A little bit about myself, you know, I'm third generation in with my family as a music entrepreneur, we'll put it that way. My family's involved in all sorts of stuff with music stores, teaching, you know, dealing with schools, the education program. So EAD, Empowering Artists with Disabilities, it brings all of those elements into the organization. We do teaching, we do development, we create platforms for artists of all types. It doesn't have to be just music. It could be, you know, acting, painting. We have a therapist. It's part of our organization, and she does abstract paintings.
That's awesome.
And she creates these paintings, and they're also for sale. And she does translate her paintings into a form of therapy. So, of course, being a nonprofit, we deal with a lot of disabled, all sorts of multiple types of disabilities. And one of the bigger ones, aside from muscular dystrophy, which I have, is autism. So we've developed different programs to help people, not only through the music program, but through the art, abstract art programs. And, you know, those type of, I guess you would call them educational therapeutic programs, which help stimulate different parts of the brain, left and right. And we do it through painting, we do it through, you know, all forms of art, everything we do. So being able to, like I say, be third generation, we established a whole bunch of programs, which makes up EAD.
Well, let's go back in time a little bit. I kind of want to start talking about you and how this all came about. So I like to start from the beginning. So we're going to kind of go back a little bit in time.
Sure, no problem.
Because what I read about you, you didn't even know you had a disability when you were young.
No.
But how did you not know? What happened? Tell us a little bit about that.
Being, I guess, very active. You know, we grew up in, my family, they're originally from Queens, you know.
Okay.
Brooklyn, Queens, that whole area. So you don't really, you know, we were young and we were just, my parents were just starting out, and they decided to move out of that Queens, Brooklyn area, and they came out to Long Island. So my dad was fortunate enough to get a house on the water.
That's very nice.
Yeah. So as little kids, we grew up on the water. We had boats and, you know, a very active life.
Yep.
Everything was all good. 10 years old, driving a boat, going to the beach.
Right. Doing everything a 10-year-old
swimming,
boy would do. Right.
Right. But then as like the year between 10 and 14, there was things that were limiting me with things, how I could lift, how I could get off the ground. I wasn't able to really run as, you know, it was just awkward and too much unbalance and, you know, not to mention the falls and stuff, you know, which were pretty, some of them were pretty horrific, but. But being young and crazy and wild and, you know, you're just moving and you're just enjoying whatever, you know.
So you don't realize that there's something wrong. You just think maybe, you know, you're playing and you're goofing around and you tripped and you fell because of that, not because your body was not cooperating.
Right. You're young. It's just all about enjoying your youth.
Yeah.
It's just you're young. You're naive to everything, basically, you know. And so as the years went on and, you know, I got to around 14, you know, it was becoming harder and harder to climb stairs.
Right.
And I was doing them, but I was doing them and I knew I wasn't able to do them, and it was like I was trying to do them when nobody was looking, and it was like that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And
so you're trying to hide it.
I was trying to hide it.
So you knew something was going on.
I started to know. I was like, why can't I you know, one thing I used to do, I used to watch baseball because my dad's a baseball fan, and So I used to watch The Catcher, you know how you squat and you jump up and squat. I'm like, I can't do that. And I'm like, so I didn't still think nothing of it until one day my mom saw me trying to climb the stairs, and she's like, what's wrong?
Right.
I'm like, oh. You tell me, you made me.
So you never thought to tell your parents, say, hey, something's not right?
No.
You just can't, because you're young and you don't think anything,
Right. Well,
Wow.
of course, mom, being mom. So now you're at the doctor, and this and that, running tests, it was a little traumatizing.
Yeah.
But after, dealing with the doctor and spending some time in the hospital and
Right.
a lot of tests and all that, they come to the conclusion it was muscular dystrophy. And it was Kugu-Gwellinsberg. I don't know. There's many, many different types of muscular spine. Yeah, there's many types. So my type was, because there's some muscular dystrophies you notice it comes pretty much real early.
Okay.
You'll start to become inhibited by it by 3, 4, 5 years old. It started
Slowly.
inhibiting, but I was still walking all the way up until 40, till I was
wow.
40 years old.
Wow.
And I was fortunate enough that happened, because then I got to meet my wife. If I wasn't able to walk
she's
or travel,
beautiful.
and it allowed me to travel and thank you, by the way.
You're welcome. You have good taste.
Thank you. So and besides, she's my biggest fan, my biggest supporter. My wife Lee, she's great. Everything I do, she's got my back 100%. Yeah. So
That's beautiful.
thank you. So as that 14 muscular dystrophy, still going to school, learning guitar, it was a struggle, and I started to realize this is not going to be good.
Right.
I knew that this was going to be sort of a, because studying guitar, at the simple thing, the easy part was learning guitar. I was really awesome at it.
Yeah.
My guitar teacher loved me. I was like his biggest protege. Yeah. But of course, I had to go downstairs with my guitar, take my lessons, then I had to pack my guitar up, climb upstairs for the project.
Yeah.
And I was doing it myself, and I was 17 at the time, and I just started driving, and that was a struggle, and I had to learn how to drive at 16 because it was a struggle for me to get up and down the bus.
Wow.
To get to the school.
And they didn't have any sort of adaptive measures back then, right? Like ramps and things like that.
The only thing they kind of did was they gave me carte blanche, the schools,
Yeah.
They were like, listen, we know. I mean, there was one time an incident happened where I was going down the stairs.
Yeah.
And, you're young.
Yeah.
I think I was in 9th grade. And, you're moving a little quick, and my knee gave out. And I went down, and I wiped out a whole bunch of students.
Domino effect.
Yeah, it was pretty. So I got hurt a little bit, but I think my ego got hurt more than anything.
Sure.
So
what was it like with the other kids? I mean, did they accept you back then? I mean, people with disabilities, listen, I'm sure it's not easy.
no.
Everything is a challenge, you know? And I mean, what was it like back then? Growing up, and did the other kids, did they accept it? Did they?
They never. Yeah, I think it has to do with your personality or how you project yourself. Because even today in the wheelchair, I get a lot of respect. I get, I'm actually an inspiration to people. So I inspire people because they're ashamed of themselves when they see what I do and how I don't let that affect my goals.
Exactly.
And they have everything, and they're, for whatever, it's mind over matter. That's basically the simplest way to put it. But I guess growing up, there are kids that could be a little bit,
Cruel.
Yeah, they could be cruel.
Yeah.
And but
Adults are cruel too.
yeah. But for whatever reason, I guess basically the way I was able to carry myself, and I was always focused, and I was always aware of you know, what I could and couldn't do, and always looking ahead. Because as I got into my 19, 20, 21, I started to realize my musical pursuing the guitar and, you know, performing. Because I was at a band, you know, we played, we did some shows, you know, but up around 19.
You were in a band, so what did you play? Did you play an instrument?
I was playing guitar.
Oh, nice.
I was playing guitar.
Nice.
So that became a little difficult because getting up and down the stage and setting up, and you know, it was just too much. So my brother also plays, and he's a big part of EAD as well. His name is Rich. Nice. And so I always had certain bands that we formed around just with the guys, and you know, this other guy down the block, his name was Gio. He played the drums. My brother played the bass. I played guitar.
I love it.
And I used to write a lot of music at an early age. So, you know, I used to get those guys together, and then we used to perform in the backyards. And, and of course, back then we had a lot of, you know, with the, you know, growing up, they had frat parties and stuff like that. I don't know if they have that anymore, but yeah. But this, I was in high school yet. I didn't get to college yet. Yeah.
Oh wow.
But after I graduated and went to college and all of that, and my brother was still playing, and I was like, you know, so I ended up buying a little 4-track, and I started producing, and then MIDI came out, and I had a drum machine and the keyboards, and I was I was always trained theoretically. Even though I could play the guitar really well, my teacher was heavily into theory. So I was always learning and making arrangements and transposing. So I was pretty good with theory. So I never really studied the piano, but I was able to learn it. So I bought the piano, I started MIDIing it, I had the 4-track, and I was creating and producing right out of my bedroom.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so then I had my brother come down there, and then I have little artists come down there, and I started producing at 19, 20 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, not really knowing what I was doing. And I was like, you know what, this is kind of, I think I like this better, you know?
Yeah.
It was great playing guitar and performing, but the producing thing excited me a little more. Yeah, it was a little more exciting, yeah. And so basically developing that and going to college and working for my dad's music store.
So music is in your family. I mean, it really... Yeah.
Yeah.
Your brother, your father,
my uncle.
Your uncle.
My cousin is a producer for Public Enemy.
Oh, wow.
So I started, check this out. When I was 25 years old, because above my dad's music store, he had a dance studio. They were doing, you know, ballet, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, they had the old dance room with the mirrors and the beautiful floors and everything. That went out of business. So I was like, wow. I was like, Dad, you know, I do this music, and I said, you know, I could set up rooms, and I said, this would increase your business, but you know, we were wild kids at the time, so he didn't right away say, oh yeah, you know. He had to think about it, and then one day he came up to me and says, you know what, let's do it. So we took our little savings, me and my brother, and even my dad chipped in, and we started building soundproof rooms and building the 8-track studio. I wasn't even going to do 8-track. I was going to keep it 4-track. I was going to keep it real simple, but somebody said, oh, no, you got to get it this and that. So I was like, all right, we get the 8-track. We went to get the drums, we got the amps, we did all of these things, and I started to do recordings. I wasn't even doing it. I was doing it right to cassette, because back then, those kids didn't have money. If you're lucky, you got $20 an hour out of those kids, you know. And I was making these amazing recordings right onto cassette. So that caught on, and it started to really, you know, just start to really project it. And then we built another room. But before you know it, I had 3 rehearsal rooms, a recording room, and the place was going 24/7. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, you know, hold that thought. We're going to come right back after this commercial break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back more with Jake Rinaldo.
TLC Senior Living Services. TLC's compassionate senior living specialists will assist you and your loved ones as you navigate these next steps in senior living. With years of experience in this industry, they know what to look for, and they know the questions to ask. TLC Senior Living Services will help find the most suitable living situation, will help find additional financial resources, and assist with the entire process. Cindy Seville, owner and founder, treats her clients with TLC. Yes, tender love and care. After working for various assisted living communities, Cindy decided to offer her wealth of knowledge to all seniors and their families. Cindy takes her time with you. She listens to you. She helps take the confusion out of your search and treats each and every client like family. Make TLC Senior Living Services your first call. Find out more at tlcseniorlivingservices.com. Ballas Associates, sales, service, and support for all your computer and PC networking needs. Whether it's wired or wireless, upgrades or repairs, backup or disaster recovery, we can provide the solutions to all your PC needs. No need to get frustrated. You know a guy. Just call Ballas Associates at 203-792-2300. That's 203-792-2300. Or visit them online at ballasassociates.com.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is with Cindy Seville and Jake Rinaldo. Jake, welcome back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we were talking about the music and how you got involved in music at a younger age and all the amazing things that you started doing with producing 8 tracks and studios and, you know, writing music and all that, playing guitar and family. So your family had a music store, right?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, what did they sell there? Did they sell like albums and things like that?
Well, yeah. So we're third generation music store. We're like a Sam Ash.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Where we do musical instrument repairs.
Yeah.
We sell. We rent.
Awesome. I have to tell you, I play the trombone and the piano.
We fix trombones. We fix tubas. We fix oboes. We fix
Love
everything.
it.
My brother and I, as the third generation, I kept that end of the business. So we still keep that end of the business going, as well as the music production.
Awesome.
So he's in charge of that end of it, and I'm in charge of the music production.
Was this your career? You made music your career?
I did. I went to
Nice.
school. I started off with accounting, and then as you know, accounting, which probably would have been better if I could have been made a lot more money if I would have stayed at accounting. But I did okay, you know, as an independent musician and building my own business. It's better in a way because you're your own boss, and you know there's nothing better than doing stuff that you love. You know.
I agree.
The accounting, it wasn't something that I wanted to jump out of bed. I wasn't excited about it. The music excited me, and it just kept drawing me to that.
Right.
You know, come back to, because you know I started with it, and you know, of course, Mom again came into the picture, and she was like, you don't want to be go to school. And so I tried that, and then I started switching, and I started doing computers, electronics, which led me back to the music, a reason why I should, start to really get more involved with the engineering and the production of music.
Right.
With all my electronic backgrounds that I had.
Now, you founded your own production company. What is it
Correct.
called?
It's called Liquid Soul Entertainment.
Love it.
And with that, I was working with my cousin. We were doing productions. He had his production company. I had my production company. We were joined. We were doing records. We had little record deals, and we were producing, and we did some movies. We also have a little division where we do independent film.
Oh, nice.
And we would cast people, and we would, I had writers, and I had camera guys, and a lot of the film editing, I kind of took into my own hands because that's like the most time-consuming portion of it, and everything was built on budgets. So,
right, of course,
yeah,
always budgets.
Yeah, so it was more in a budget if I just took that.
Yeah.
And I learned, we've done zombie movies and stuff.
Oh, wow.
And I learned the special effects and blowing buildings up.
Oh, my
and
God.
It was hilarious. I can't tell you, I mean, to this day, though, I watch zombie movies. And I'm like,
you could do it better.
Yeah. But it's okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, obviously you have a passion for music, and you have a disability. So you combined the two, and you formed EAD. Tell us about EAD.
So EAD, Empowering Artists with Disabilities, it just says it for itself.
Yeah.
So, growing up and struggling, and don't forget, I was producing for many years, at least 20 years, traveling around the world. I produced world music. I didn't just mess around with rock and rap. I was doing forms of music that people don't even know about. It's called punta.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's a production, it's a music that comes, it's a combination of music that comes out of Africa and it was migrated up into Central America. So it
I
mixes.
never heard of it.
Yeah, it's wild. People need
I'm gonna
to
have
Google
to Google it. Yeah.
Punta, yeah. And I produced this band. I met him through one of the clubs we were promoting, and the guy came up to me and he's like, I got this band and they need a recording. And I said, sure, bring them by. And this guy, Dennis, came to me. I'm from Honduras and we do punta. And I was like, whatever. We got the guys called the Garifuna Kids. And I says, let's do it. And I didn't know what any of it was, but I knew I could make it sound nice for them, And the record went to #1. It blew up in Honduras.
Wow.
So yeah. So then, being that I was the main producer behind that, they booked me. They hired me to tour around all of Central America with them. And so that kind of took me into a different direction because I really wasn't. I was more or less staying in the studio, working with artists, developing their records. But now, I started traveling and seeing a little bit of what the music, how it affects other people. So that kind of started to make me think, if it's helping people in that fashion that don't have a disability, imagine what it could do, how it could help people with disabilities.
Right.
It started to really, just brainstorm in my head.
Right.
So developing a friendship with another gentleman who was living out in Bayshore, he had fell off a tugboat and he wasn't able to play like 100%. So, and so he was trying to start this little thing, coalition for disabled musicians, and here again, my mom comes into the equation. She found this thing.
Don't you love moms?
Yeah,
See, moms
Mom.
are the best, right? We are the best.
Yeah, Mom was
Big supporter.
She was a piece of work. But you gotta love her. And I said, all right, you know what? Let me talk to the guy. So he introduced this and that. And I started helping him. That was my very first realization of, wow, I could really educate and help, because he don't really, he said, I want to play the drums and we're a bunch of disabled people and we're gonna tour the world.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody's dream is as a musician. Anybody that picks up a guitar, they want to tour around, they want to be a rock star, So, but that wasn't really my goal, even though it was fun. We did, I did formulate the little group with him, and he started getting other musicians and that were disabled, and we did start to tour around and everything, but that wasn't going anywhere, and I was still doing my studio and I was still touring around with the, so I was trying to juggle both things. So eventually I broke away from that.
Okay.
Because he wasn't really, it was all about just playing. I wanted to develop, I wanted to change people's lives on a wider scale.
Right,
On a much wider scale. And also not just with music, because there was just way too much talent out there that I was dealing with, that would come into the studio with actors. And we were working with a band called Groove Be Chill, they're 3 rappers, and they became pretty well known. We produced their record, and they had gotten a movie deal. So the guy flew out to LA, and he crashed his motorcycle.
Oh.
So now he was in a wheelchair.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but being who he was and how outgoing, and he didn't let it stop him, and he became an actor, and he's on some of the movies today, you know. And I haven't seen him lately, but this is years ago.
Yeah.
You know, he started not in a wheelchair doing stuff, and you know, it was stuff like that that I was starting to realize that, you know, this is bigger than just a bunch of disabled guys jamming out in a garage, you know.
So EAD is different in many ways. I mean, because you tell me exactly.
Well, what
do you do with EAD
so
exactly?
to finish there was a point to that. I wanted to empower people.
Okay.
It speaks for itself, the name.
It does.
Empowering artists with disabilities. So there were so many people that would come to us that needed guidance, needed direction, needed mentoring.
Yep.
You know, so that's where I can, you know, so it's my inspirations and it's my energy that gives them the power to want to go out there, to give them the direction, to make them understand. You know, it's not about, hey, I'm just going to play 8 hours at home. And, you know, so over the years, I met this guy, Mike, who's got cerebral palsy. And he can play the drums without his feet. And I met him through some other people that, because being in the industry with the Long Island Drum Center and all of these other places on Long Island. And we were dealing with Liberty DeVito, which is a drummer for Billy Joel. And he had friends with Dom Famularo. And all of these guys were all a part of what we were doing as a bunch of disabled musicians. And they were helping us. And that's how I met this guy, Mike. And he wrote a book. He was studying with all these guys. I mean, these guys are like, they tour around the world. They play with all he worked with a guy named Bobby Rondinelli. That guy toured with all the metal bands like Black Sabbath. And
oh, neat.
Yeah, I mean, all of them.
Talent, a lot of talent.
So they were able to develop techniques for Mikey to play without his feet.
Wow.
Now he developed a book. So we ended up putting together the whole book, but he was not able to manage it and get it published. So he had missed different opportunities, and I didn't really know what he was doing because he was trying to do it on his own. So now, as part of with what we're doing with the organization, we're going to take control of his book and help him get it pressed, get it published, and and try to negotiate those things that really an artist can't do on themselves, you know. And that's more of managing, but it's still empowering them for the fact that they have all of these abilities. It's sitting in his computer, but he doesn't have any advice on how to, you know. And when you're dealing with another musician, they're like, sell it for $1 a piece, you know. You know, it's like the only way you're going to get it, you got to give it away.
No, I think that's fabulous.
So, you know, sometimes it is the case, but sometimes, you know, you have to have a plan. You can't just say, boom, let's just, you know, give this away. I mean, it sounds crazy, but, you know.
No, that sounds, I mean, it sounds amazing. I can't wait to learn more about EAD when we come back. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Empowering Artists with Disabilities is an organization committed to assisting artists with disabilities. The individuals we work with include artists who represent a broad cross-section in visual and musical arts. We're a collaborative effort of professional community organizers, musicians, visual artists, and music educators. Collectively, we have many years of professional experience. We provide an avenue for special needs individuals to use their talents, a group of professional artists to contribute, add programs, and come together to teach. Our programs will empower artists and provide a safe haven to exercise and mold their talents.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is with Cindy Saville and Jake Rinaldo. So Jake,
Yes.
I would love to learn some more specifics about EAD, about empowering artists with disabilities. I guess some of your success stories.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's basically what we're doing now,
Yeah.
you know. So we're accumulating the ability to create a platform. And one of the people that are, one of our big successes this year was Huntington Arts Council.
Oh, wow.
Okay, they are a big sponsor for us and what the event we're going to be doing here in Paradise Studios on June 3rd.
Oh, tell us about that.
Yes, so
That's exciting.
that is a success story to the success stories. So once you achieve your organization and you have a mission and you have a vision,
Right.
now you have to present it to people to say, hey, you know, are we going to be the only ones funding this, or do you want to help? And, you know, who's going to get involved? And,
Right.
you know, and you want people to really believe in what you're doing.
Yeah.
You don't really know if, you know, if people are going to take to it. You would hope, you know,
Yeah.
for the fact that you are helping people, you're enlightening them, you're changing their lives.
Yes.
So I called the Huntington Arts Council and I met with a woman named Emily, and she said, you know what, you're a perfect fit. I said, this is exactly what we need. There's nobody out there doing what you're doing. We want to be a part of your organization.
Awesome.
So they sent me to the link. I started filling out the paperwork, and just a few weeks ago, they gave us a grant.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, they're funding everything, and
Wow.
and they're going to allow us to basically, why they funded that grant was because of our success stories. So there is a bunch of artists right now, which one of them is Tom. He has autism.
Okay.
And as a young kid, he was growing up, he didn't even speak. He was very recluse. He stayed to himself. And but he would be in the room and he'd play and he'd write, and he's really good. So we started working with him slowly in the studio, developing his music, putting together a video, which is on my website, the eawd.org. And you could check out Tom's video. And it's been increasing his ability to speak, communicate, interact with people.
amazing.
Yeah. And the same with Mikey now, because now Mikey, you know, as much as he struggles, because when you're disabled and you can't really, you know, just, it's hard to put your clothes on, you know, all the just
everything. Yeah, the
people,
things we take for granted
Right.
every day. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know, so, you know, when a guy like Mikey is struggling just to get to a rehearsal or whatever, and then we rig up his, because now he's an acoustic guy. He's learned how to play acoustic drums, but, you know, as he's getting older, the struggle to play is harder, and then he hurt his shoulder and his back, and then we had to get special chairs for him, and then we rigged an electronic drums for him now to make it easier, and to see the expression and the smile and the enjoyment that, you know, it makes people want to pursue and gives them hope and happiness.
You inspire.
Yeah, so that's what
Yes.
it's all about. I mean, the main success behind empowering artists with disabilities is to give them hope, give them inspiration, create a platform for them, and show other people how they could get involved with the art. And they don't really even have to be artists themselves. They could just enjoy the music, because the music itself is giving you some form of inspiration, relaxation, enjoyment.
Yeah.
The painting, the works that we do with one of our, we have a partner, this woman named Allie, and she does abstract art, and she creates little puzzles where it connects lines and stuff, where it actually starts to stimulate the left and right parts of the brain, where
Wow.
so, and there's been a lot of, it's slow developing, but
Yeah.
you'll see there is development, and there is some sort of a satisfaction of
Yeah.
creating, different platforms and different programs for
Right.
people. And then we have another individual, his name is Nene, who's also on my website, eawd.org, under the artist page.
Yeah. I think I saw all these because I did.
Yeah, he's a rapper from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
He's in a
Awesome.
wheelchair, and he's really good.
Yeah.
And, he'll be here on June 3rd as well.
Awesome.
And he's going to perform his little debut singles that we've been promoting on the website right now. And, it's another thing, because he's in the city, he's in Brooklyn, that's the little projects over there.
Yeah.
So this gives them a platform to get out of that and to show people, or people, artists like him, I should say, not people,
Sure.
but artists like him, that there is something other than being stuck in a little community,
Yeah.
that we could bring you outside that's bigger,
Yeah.
and to present what you're doing, like similar to like what I did with the world music, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't really have known that if I didn't get on the plane and fly to Honduras, or
Exactly.
which people thought I was crazy to do.
You know what I love, though? I love that you don't let your disability stop you. And you're teaching that. You're instilling that in others.
Right.
You're empowering, like you say, you're empowering others,
Right.
To not allow their disability to stop them. They have talents, they have interests, and, I think it's wonderful what you're doing.
Right, and we're giving them the direction and the knowledge to overcome the barriers.
Yeah.
Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make, show the struggle of really because,
Right.
people come look at me, they're going to say, oh, but they don't know what it took for me to get out of bed and get over here,
Exactly.
So, and the burden that I have to put on people that are helping me. We're working with another gentleman. His name is Rick Pally, and he is a bass player. He has Parkinson's disease, and he traveled. He's a world-renowned bassist.
Wow.
He played with Chuck Berry, Buster Poindexter. I mean, this guy's like
Big names, yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a jazz guy, and I know him through another friend of mine who was another great jazz pianist named Bob Lepley, and these guys are like just amazing people.
Wow.
But Rick Pally, he can't get around, so our organization, we have a transportation service. So not only are we getting,
Nice.
we'll be able to get Nene out here from Brooklyn,
Awesome.
to get him out here that day through our transportation service,
Yeah.
but we also help Rick Pally, which he's half blind, he could hardly move,
Wow.
so, and then we've structured, modifications for people like Mikey and him, so they could sit, because they can't really stand.
Right.
They do, but it's not like for
Yeah.
too long.
Yeah.
And then, we have to create different harness and stuff, so they have stuff, so they could stay properly
A lot of
seated.
thought that goes into this. A lot of preparation, planning. Yeah.
Yeah, and but it's like if they don't have that service, they're stuck in the house.
Do you have therapists, any kind of therapists involved in helping with all of this?
Well, like the woman I said, Allie
Yeah.
Allie Berman, she's one of our
Okay.
doctor therapists.
Oh, okay. You just said
So,
that, yeah.
but as far like I've done different type of therapy, because through my business,
Yeah.
I had a doctor. His name is David Grand, and he has this program, because the brain is complicated. People really don't really understand it. So, of course, there's two types of disabilities. You got the physical disability, you got the mental disability. So a lot of people, and during 9/11, a lot of people went, a little bonkers because of, with the building and
Yep.
watching people jump off the building. The trauma behind that was ridiculous.
Absolutely was.
And I was developing a therapeutic music CD where it had different frequencies and it was panning left and right, and it was like geared towards different traumatic and just I guess I don't know how you say, but it has a lot to do with the malfunction and the unbalance of your brain chemistry.
Okay.
And so these therapists more are for the people with mental disabilities.
Okay.
As far as the people with the physical disabilities, well,
Right.
I'm their therapist.
Right. I love it. I love it.
That's basically it. I teach them by example.
Right.
That's really and that's how they have to learn. You got to say, okay, well, this is what he did, so that's how I do. And if you have other obstacles that are kind of like with Mikey, he has struggles with his living situation.
Okay.
Because he lives with his brother. His brother got a lot of dogs. And the dog's got a lot of hair. And then the hair is on the floor. And then he goes to get up. And then the cane goes out. And then he falls on the ground. And,
Yeah.
So it's like, I get that from him. So now I have to be there just, or that type of therapy is
Kind of like
more,
and advocating.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're advocating for that.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right.
Well, what are some of, we have just about a minute and a half left. What are some of your goals ultimately for EAD?
Well, mainly right now, because the organization with just not even 2 years fully functional as a 501c3, it kind of outgrew its location, its space. So at this point right now, I'm going to try to do some sort of fundraising to raise enough money so we can get a bit of a space, somewhat of a location,
Right.
other than just, our space, the studio is good for where, to produce and train.
Yep.
But I need a place where we could do, developing groups, have group sessions, get more, and then get into the schools. Because the schools have been calling. They want to bring the program to the kids. But a lot of them want to come to the facility, which would be nice, because now you could show them the studio, show them the drum, then bringing the facility into the schools.
Right.
So I would like to establish a building. I would like to get a location, and then from there, run the programs and just create a performance-based program where we could, work with the Huntington Arts Council.
Right.
Work with the Long Island Freeport Arts Council, which is another event we're doing in August 3rd. And we got WBAB sponsoring that one too.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
That would be really to establish that bigger and better, and to get the platforms bigger, get into the Jones Beach platforms,
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, that would be the main goal. Because
Right.
the bigger the platform, the more awareness we could control,
Sure. Yeah.
create.
Yeah.
With the internet, we could do a lot of that, but there's nothing with having a big platform and putting the artists on there and enlightening. I mean, everyone. Even we did an event last year in Freeport on Woodcleft at the Waterloo Mile for the Long Island Freeport Arts Council, and they had some kids with autism, and they just lit up the minute the music hit, and and the parents like, oh my God, please put us on the mailing list. And, now we're creating more followers to inspire, and that would be that would be the main goal, is to really create more followers and to inspire more people and to give more education to how we could, help these individuals.
I love it. I love it. Listen, before we go, I want you to tell everybody how they can reach you.
Sure.
Actually, you can look right up there.
Sure. You can reach us at
right there, right down there.
www. You don't need the www. These days. But it's eawd.org, and you go to the contact page and you fill out the contact, and it's a message. You could send, your email and a message of what you want to know and how much information you would need from us, or information about what you do and how we could help you. And it's really that simple. It's eawd.org, and
Awesome.
We'll be happy to hear from you.
Awesome.
And also, we brought you a T-shirt.
Oh, my T-shirt. Yes. My T-shirt's
So,
right down there.
it's
Yes.
So,
I'll hold it up at the end with my final thoughts. Yes.
Yeah, we got you a T-shirt.
Well, thank you. Thank you for all you do for so many people. I mean, really, it's quite impressive.
Oh, you're
And
welcome.
I love that you took something in your life and you just, something that could hinder most people, or and you took it and you made something beautiful with it to help so many other people. Your passions, and you didn't let your disability stop you. And so I think that's fabulous.
Right.
Yeah.
It actually. I'm fortunate, I guess, because I'm kind of stubborn. No matter how much of the odds are against me,
Yeah.
I guess I'm
You
fortunate.
have the right attitude.
Yeah, something
right
just makes me
attitude.
want to just keep pushing ahead.
But thank you. Thank you for being here to share your story. I appreciate it. And don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with my final thoughts.
Hi, I'm Arthur Lee, founder, CEO, and inventor of LifeVac, a simple rescue device that could save a child's life in a choking emergency. All these people were saved with LifeVac. People may not realize that on average, 14 people a day die from choking-related incidents. Every 5 days, one of those is a child.
As simple as place, push, pull.
To learn more, please visit lifevac.net.
Empowering Artists with Disabilities, in cooperation with the Huntington Arts Council, invites you to an exceptional evening of music, a celebration of the artistic talents of the disabled community. Social media promotion via Strong Island Entertainment. For one night only, Saturday, June 3rd, 2023, 8 to 10 p.m. at Paradise Studios, 20 Broadway, Massapequa, New York, 11758.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is. I'm here with my final thoughts, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Jake is phenomenal. He does phenomenal things. Remember, empowering artists with disabilities. We have an event here at the studio, so make sure you guys come and support in any way you can. But bottom line, we should never let our disabilities prevent us from achieving whatever we want to achieve. We should embrace our passions. Listen, we all have a story, and that's what this show is about, is bringing people on and sharing the story. It's incredible to me that we all walk the same planet. We're all human. We're so much alike, yet we have such unique differences, and we should embrace those beautiful differences, embrace who we are, and that's, I think, what Jake does, and he helps so many people, and he inspires them. I should say he inspires them. He inspires them to embrace who they are and make the most of their situation, and and embrace their passions in life. I mean, we all have passions in life, and some people just don't know how to, again, for music or art or whatever, he allows an opportunity for these people to express themselves, and I think that's beautiful. So embrace and love who you are. You're beautiful just as you are. Remember that. Thank you for tuning in, and make sure you comment, like, and share. It is what it is. You can win this book if you comment, like, and share. Talk to you soon. See you next time. Thanks for tuning in.
Live your life like a dreamer. Fly all over the world. Open yourself so the world can see. You're a beautiful person. free to go